Hello, I'm Iris. Welcome to the first episode of Buddha Bites. Today I would like to dedicate this first episode to a lady I love very much who we lost suddenly just a couple of weeks ago. Her name is Ladiva Davis. Ladiva was a singer, a dancer, a choreographer, a pianist, a mentor, a teacher, and ultimately she was a friend. And I'm dedicating today to her because she also was the first Black woman to have a cooking show on public television back in the 1970s. It was called What's Cooking with Ladiva Davis. And so I met her on the television cooking food long before I met her and became friends with her in real life. So, for Ladiva, who we love very much. So today we're going to talk about eggs. And why eggs? Because, well, partly because eggs are the first thing that we reach for in the morning for breakfast. Also because eggs are central to a lot of the things that we eat for breakfast, lunch, or dinner. So it's important to know how to handle them and to cook them well. Today I'd like to start with scrambled eggs, but it's only the first of a series that I'll do eventually on cooking various types of egg preparations. So let's get started. So, scrambled eggs. Seems pretty simple. Some of us do it all the time. There is a little bit of finesse in really making a beautiful scrambled egg for the ones you love. You want to start with a good egg. And a lot of times we use whatever it is that we can put our hands on at the grocery store, whatever's cheapest. If they're 12 in a pack and none of them are cracked, we'll buy it. That's fine. But I think sometimes it's worthwhile to splurge a little bit to get a better product. And I found a brand that I really like. I'm going to plug it. It is called Happy Egg. And there aren't too many places that I've been able to find this in my area. I drive miles out of my way to get it. And why? Because it is a free-range egg. It has a special diet. The hens are loving their life outdoors, and it creates a better egg. And I'm going to show you the difference. So, here is your basic egg that you get from the supermarket. Probably the cheapest one. There's nothing wrong with it. And here is the happy egg. I mean, which one would you rather eat? I'm going for this one. And I think that color makes for a more vibrant product. A vibrant color makes a vibrant product. And a vibrant product means more vibrancy that goes into your body. So even if you don't go for that specific brand, splurge, spend a couple of extra bucks, get a free range egg. I think you'll feel better about what goes in your body that way. So we're going to start with a non-stick pan. It does not have to be the most expensive one. This one I got on Amazon. Cost me under $30. Has a nice weight to it, has a beautiful non-stick surface, and it's perfect for what we're doing today. So we're going to get some heat on it. You don't want to heat these pans dry for too long because it damages the surface. So as soon as possible, I'm going to get fat into the skillet. And the fat that I've chosen is unsalted butter. Salted butter is perfectly fine, but I like unsalted because that way I get to control the amount of seasoning that I put into my food. So if you have salted, that's what you grab, that's perfectly fine. Just be aware that when you season the eggs, you're going to want to put a little bit less salt in. Eggs are not the sort of thing that you can taste before they're cooked. You have to get it right before you cook them. So let's get a couple of these happy eggs. And I'd like to show you while this is heating up the best way, or the way that I like the best, to crack an egg. You don't want to crack it on the side of your bowl. You don't want to do that because you risk getting shells in, and you also risk exposing your eggs to bacteria from the outside of the egg. Now, I rinse mine, but nonetheless. So instead of this, you want to tap it on a flat surface. And you might still get some shells in, but it's less likely. Now, look at that gorgeous egg. So we're going to make 2 eggs for the cameraman. That is his payment for today. I can't get over how gorgeous these are. And we're going to whisk them. We're going to break them up a little bit before we add anything to them. Now, this is where a lot of people like to add a dairy, milk, cream, half and half. America's Test Kitchen, which is the source that I think is sort of the ultimate in cooking advice, suggests that instead of dairy, you use a little bit of water. Why? They say that it breaks up sort of the denseness of the egg, but it also leaves the egg with a more eggy flavor. Now with omelets, you might want to do something a little different, but so you see that I'm breaking this up. It's a little bit looser. I probably only added about, maybe about a teaspoonful of water. And this is where you season. Now I like to season mine with seasoned salt, and I do this pretty regularly, so I just eyeball it. So seasoned salt, and I like white pepper. I like white pepper because it still gives you the zing that pepper gives you, but it doesn't affect the color of these beautiful orange eggs. Gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, so time to get them in the pan. I'm going to turn this up a little bit. Get them in. I'm going to reserve a little bit. I'll tell you about that more later. And we're going to immediately start to agitate these eggs in the pan. You do that so that you get the nice fluffy texture. Maybe even a little bit more. I have an electric stove, which is not my preference, but this is an apartment. So my goal is to graduate up to a house with a gas stove. My goal. It's much, much easier to control the heat on a gas stove than it is electric. So you have to be a little bit patient with this, because for a while it's going to look like it's not doing anything. But you see how ever so gradually it's pulling together, and you want to agitate this in this manner so that the curds don't get too big and give you something more like an omelet, which is for another time that we spend together. So just be patient. You don't want to press this too much. It's kind of on a medium heat. If it were on a higher heat, then it would add color to the egg that you really don't want. So look at how it's pulling together. Just be patient. It will happen in due time, and you will be happy that you took this time. And you'll see that it really is, what, a minute or two just to get it right. This is a wonderful time to learn. And you're taking good care of yourself by making your own food. You're not stopping at the drive-thru. You know what's going into your food. This is the way to do it. It's maybe you don't always have time, but if you do have time, a couple of extra moments in the morning, why not do this for yourself? All right, so we still have a nice soft consistency. Some people want to stop right here. Some people like their eggs scrambled soft. I like mine a little bit on the medium side. And at this point, I usually add cheese. I love a good Cooper Sharp cheese in my egg. But for now, I don't want to adulterate what it is that I'm showing you by adding anything else. But this is a wonderful time to add cheese, the cheese of your choosing if you like. Something that's nice and melty. So, this is in pretty good shape. Look at that. It's pulled together beautifully. So at this point, I'm going to take it off the heat. In fact, I'm really going to take it off the heat because the residual cooking on an electric burner is significant. So we're going to pull it off and we're going to get your plate started. So, nice purple plate that I will not put on the burner. And I didn't just make eggs, I had to make a full breakfast for the cameraman. That's his payment for today. So, I have some bacon that I baked in the oven. What I did was I just sprayed with cooking spray this rack on a sheet pan. And I put the bacon on, popped it in the oven at 375 degrees. That's all I did. And look at how beautiful it came out. There are no burns. I didn't mess up the kitchen. It rendered this extra grease right here. You see that pooling here? So you have yourself a beautiful cup, several pieces of bacon without the hassle of frying it on the stove. Now some of these are going to break up. That is fine. They eat just fine. I'm going to see if I can pull together some really pretty ones for our cameraman. And by the way, this is where I use cooking spray. I don't use cooking spray on a nonstick pan. It damages the surface of your nonstick pan. So be very wise and mindful about when you use nonstick spray. I'm going to put this back in, and I have another surprise for the cameraman and for you. I made roasted potatoes. I had some bell peppers in the refrigerator that I needed to do something with before they became unusable. And I roasted some Yukon Gold mini potatoes. So a little bit of shallot, garlic, seasonings, and look at that beautiful color that you have. Roasted the potatoes all by themselves, sauteed the vegetables by themselves, brought them together, and you have a nice hash. Now, let's get back to these eggs. Now, you may recall I held on to a little bit. This is why. If the egg gets a little tighter than you want it to be, it's still hot here. Add raw egg. And it'll fluff it up and it'll get it back to the consistency that you want. Look at that. Gorgeous. So, we are ready to plate. I'm not going to say that this is perfect, because perfection is not the goal, but I would say that they're pretty beautiful. So, time to eat. First, we have our lovely fluffy scrambled eggs that are nice pale orange. We have oven baked bacon. We have a nice Yukon Gold potato hash. And I also, just to gild the lily a little bit, made some blueberries, strawberries, and golden berries, and put a little bit of mint from my little balcony garden. And here's some grape juice, because purple's what I do. So, have yourself a great breakfast, treat yourself, take out your nice plates, your nice napkins. You're gonna do laundry anyway, you might as well get yourself a nice little cloth napkin. And that's our breakfast. So thank you so much for joining me on Buddha Bites. We'll see you next time, and remember, you are the Buddha.